Good morning. I'd like to tell you my bad experience with my mobile home gas water heater here in New Mexico. We're in the Mountain Time Zone. When I bought my mobile home, it was 17 years old, and the water heater in it was about 17 years old too. So I replaced it because I knew you don't get too much longer out of that. I had a water heater, gas water heater in California. It lasted me 19 years and then faded out. So I replaced it. I replaced it with a Rheem. Well, that Rheem only lasted for about 2.5 years before it needed to be serviced. And it went out a couple more times. I think thermocouples, I had them replaced with thermocouples in it. But that third time, the whole bottom part of the water heater, the metal part they pull out, was so badly rusted, it was time to replace it with another one. So I shopped around online. I looked to see if there was much of a choice in gas water heaters for mobile homes, because we do have the elevation here, as well as you have to buy a water heater specifically for a mobile home. It's really the only thing on them. I think that isn't standard anymore. But I shopped, I looked around for them at Sears, at Salmon's, Home Depot, and Lowe's. Salmon's had one there. It wasn't a bad price, and they would have put it in with a licensed plumber for a pretty reasonable price, but they had a lot of complaints on that water heater, as did the Rheem that I had put in, and it only lasted for 2.5 years. I heard after a while quite a few people had complaints about the Rheems too. So I ended up buying the gas water heater at Lowe's. And the reason being, there wasn't any complaints on it. I think there was only 2 reviews. I couldn't find out who manufactured that water heater. I would have liked to. I searched the internet. I just couldn't figure out who did it. I went to the store. There's nothing on the box, but I purchased it hoping that this one would be okay. It's been in for a couple of months now, and it was a couple of guys who do maintenance here in the park that put it in, and they charged me a fairly reasonable price. But water heaters are not cheap no matter what. It's one of your bigger expenses in a home. When they got it opened and could see it, it was made by Honeywell. I know when I went into Home Depot, I asked who makes these water heaters, and the guy said, well, it's probably made by the other manufacturers here on the shelf. Usually they buy from the same person. But it didn't, none of them ever said Honeywell. Anyway, I just wanted to put it out there. I think that gas water heaters for mobile homes are getting to be quite a problem and not lasting very long. If this one gives me any trouble at all when the temperature does drop, and it will be dropping here sometime in November, probably mid to second to the last week in November, I'm going to be writing the Secretary of State. It doesn't hurt to contact somebody to say, hey, you know, we don't have a choice here in New Mexico, and this elevation issue with water heaters are an issue. But it needs to change. Water heaters used to last a long time. When that Rheem first went out, I remember I called just a plumbing company, and he was kind of a young guy. He said, well, they're just not making things the way they used to. And that's no excuse. Water heaters used to last for a long time. The mobile home water heater I had in here lasted 17 years, and I probably would have gotten another year or 2 out of it. I just didn't want to be caught in the cold weather and thought, well, I'll replace it now. It was a good time for me to be doing so. Anyway, I just wanted to make a video and put it out there what my experience had been with the mobile home gas water heaters in the Mountain Time Zone for New Mexico. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.